following contest
Poor little Sims.
is a martial law match, where the rules are simply whatever the marshal pleases.
Well, there you go.
The rules of the match have been laid out. Whatever the marshal wants. What the hell, Darion?
No, this ain't about me. This is about Marshall and the Manimal coming up.
Introducing your first opponent. He hails from New Orleans, Louisiana. Weighing in tonight at 170 pounds, he is the Chief of the Kingdom, the Manimal. He is Marshal.
Well, the last time Manimal Kaedon Marx was here in Pensacola, it was in the main event. He was defending the D1 title against Chris Mason. He was jumped by all the members of Enterprise, beaten down.
No. Let me tell you what happened in the main event last time he was here in Pensacola. He lost the D1 championship to his opponent tonight, Marshal Briggs.
Marshal
That's
Briggs,
what happened.
after Manimal got beat down by the members
Yeah,
of the
blah,
Enterprise,
blah, blah. All that
Marshal
matters is
Briggs
he
made
lost.
an impromptu match and did get the victory, yes.
He lost
Sounds like,
to Marshal
Manimal.
Briggs in the ring, period. Just like he might do here tonight.
It seems Manimal's not the only one that lost in Pensacola.
Very astute, Zach, very astute.
It sounds like you lost your damn mind.
No, you lost your damn mind getting involved in that match
Shut the
earlier.
hell up, Donnie.
You did.
Don't make me come across this table.
Ooh. You know, Darion, I know I couldn't take you, but just
What?
ooh, just
Yeah,
one
real quiet,
good
real quick.
punch would be
He
worth
said
it.
one
Yeah,
time
come
it'd be
on,
worth
come on
it.
then. Come on.
Okay, fellas, let's calm down. This is not we are not in-ring competitors. We are more esteemed. Well, I thought we were more esteemed than that.
Well,
You wanted to?
gentlemen, not now.
So it may seem that Manimal's not the only one with some new music and entrance. Wow.
His opponent is the founder and controlling engine of the Coastal Wrestling Federation. He is your current D1 champion, the American Outlaw, Marshal Briggs.
Ladies and gentlemen, Marshal Law has just taken into effect.
Has arrived on scene.
The American Outlaw, the owner of the Coastal Wrestling Federation. This match, a match of his own making, where the rules are whatever he darn well pleases. Now, I had the task of interviewing both these men on YouTube earlier in the month, and there was no reconciliation between these two. Whatever chances there was to parlay and make peace, it was long gone.
I think Marshall has about as much love for Manimal as he does you, Donnie.
Well, right, I believe he has a lot more animosity for Manimal.
You
Marshal
just want him to
Briggs.
have more animosity for Manimal.
Marshal Briggs already competitive prowess already on display. Beat Brandon Collins in that impromptu D1 title match. D1 title not on the line here in this matchup. Marshal Briggs ruled that Manimal, despite being a former two-time champion, didn't deserve a title shot.
Well, when they signed the contract, Manimal should have read the fine print. That's on him.
Well,
Like Manimal gets the chance to fight for his job. Should he win this match, he gets a chance for the CWF championship. He doesn't need a D1 championship opportunity anyway.
well, like we said, a lot on the line here tonight. If Manimal wins, gets a shot at the CWF title, currently held by Justin Flo, but if he loses, he is out of the Coastal Wrestling Federation.
Speaking of the D1 title, Johnny Romano has a shot at that D1 title.
Yes, I believe just about any time he wants. Wait a minute! Manimal wasting no time, or perhaps has waited long enough, not even letting Marshal Briggs get the duster off.
Which is smart on Manimal's part. Marshall is obviously, his frame is larger than Manimal. He's a little
I
stronger.
mean,
so
I could recognize it is a very smart maneuver to get the jump on your opponent. But he's going to need to keep his foot on the gas, or else Marshall's going to take his head off.
Marshall stopping his momentum there, grabbing on the rope, getting to the outside.
And Marshall's showing his experience, his smarts,
That's
flying
right.
out the ring. But this is the inexperience of Kaedon Marx. He's letting his opponent breathe. He
Well-
just had the jump on his opponent. He's giving him a chance to breathe.
Speaking of getting a jump on your opponent,
And then he turned his back. Now look at him.
turned his back, and quite frankly, we don't even know if there was a 10 count. We don't really know all the rules here. It's as I was
there
saying.
are no rules, Donnie. It's just whatever the marshal says.
We saw firsthand what the rules could be at the last voltage in the main event, the first
And
ever.
Those rules could not be this rule. Who knows?
We don't know what the rules are.
As we said earlier, they're whatever Marshal Briggs pleases. Manimal trying to end it quick there, provided this match does end in a pinfall.
But does it, though? We don't know.
Clothesline there from Manimal onto the D1 champion.
That's something we don't even know how the match ends.
Technically the second time these two have met in the ring. Granted, this time Marshal Briggs is all on his own, doesn't have the members of the Enterprise beating down on Manimal.
Which that was his own fault. They did that anyway.
Yeah, you shouldn't put your nose where it don't belong.
And what did you? Yeah, he's taking in time to soak in the audience's approval, letting his opponent breathe.
Well,
is
the
not
audience
wise at all.
loves Manimal. Manimal doesn't have the best of luck here in Pensacola, In January,
exactly why he needs to stay on his opponent instead of worrying about what these people think.
in January in Pensacola, lost the tag team titles. Last time we were here in Pensacola, lost the D1 title.
And
but
now
I may mention
tonight in Pensacola, he might lose his job.
So we may mention at Proving Ground last year.
Marshall's done. He's walking out.
But
He
is
said
this
He's done.
is this
I don't know.
allowed? I mean, well, I guess so.
Hey, whatever. It's what the Marshal wants.
Wait a minute, no. Manimal gonna give chase.
Manimal
Attacking
said-
Marshall once again from behind.
He said-
They're outside. There's no countouts, I guess.
Is that
Marshall
Man-
didn't give me a. Looking at the D1s. Oh, took a moment to look at the pretty thing.
That's a low blow to the Manimal. And
Manimal ain't gonna be
golly.
having any Cubs anytime soon.
yeah.
Is that he said, watch it, don't touch it.
I'm just gonna polish it for him. Somebody needs to take care of it.
It's a beautiful. It's
Get
a beautiful
that-
belt.
you don't deserve to have that near you.
Neither do you.
I'm the only one at this table
But then
who deserves gold. around me.
Johnny's the only one of the.
Johnny
that-
doesn't deserve anything.
Well,
Oh,
He's got a shot at it.
Shut
got a
up and call
shot.
it a match.
you know, hey.
Right now, all we can say is Manimal's about to be in a lot of pain.
Oh.
Using that.
Oh, and Marshall pressing down on the chin, adding
And
more
And
tension
using-
it's
to the
all
spine.
Using that-
perfectly legal, I think.
Using that post to intensify the agony that the Manimal is feeling. Marshal Briggs knows how to use his environment as a weapon. We saw that on display way back in 22 when he did that 3 stages of hell match with Nathan
That's
Sims.
his combat training at work.
Marshal Briggs, yes, has combat training. Very articulate man, very devious man, very cunning man. One of the most dangerous competitors I've ever seen in the ring. But Manimal, if it's one thing that we know that Manimal has, it is heart. You guys were there. You saw him win that gauntlet match. Went through 4 other men. He is a Manimal of steel.
I also saw that.
I saw
heart.
him get lucky in that gauntlet match, but we saw 2 different things.
I watched him get zip cuffed to the ropes because that heart doesn't know when to stop.
No, it does not, and sometimes that can be to his detriment.
That's why
tonight-
he's in this situation in the first place.
Might be to the
Wait.
detriment of Marshal Briggs here before it's over. Perhaps I spoke too soon.
Another
Speaking of
shot
that
straight to
gauntlet
the
match,
ribs.
weren't you in that as well, Darian?
Wait a minute. Making the ref get outside the ring. I don't know what's up with that.
I don't.
Wait a
think-
minute. Referee coming
asking
back for the
a microphone
I guess Marshall's about to
to lay some rules down or something.
lay a,
I don't know.
stipulation here. Gonna be the first stipulation of the
I hear
night.
all you out there bitching.
Uh-oh.
Guess what? Guess what? Marshal Law says it's no DQ. Shut your mouth.
Oh, a no DQ match.
So there's a no DQ. Okay.
It's obviously what martial law means. No disqualification. Could think.
Wow. So the. Oh, beautiful DDT by the Manimal to cause some separation.
Perhaps shouldn't have taken that moment to announce the stipulation.
But Marshall getting.
Wait a
himself
minute, going for the pin here. Guess pins are in this match.
Marshall gave himself some separation that gave that hesitation to Kaedon Marx. Didn't get the pinfall attempt quickly as he should have.
Well, Manimal is not going to show any reservations now. Not going to hold anything back. Not that he would have anyways. His career is on the line, as we said earlier. This is how he makes his living. This is how he pays the rent.
And he's
And now he's
got a
seems
huge sleeper
a
lock
standing
in.
guillotine maybe in the middle of the ring.
Showing some MMA training here. Gonna try to suplex the bigger man.
Oh.
That's just that. The strength of the Manimal of Steel on
And,
firm
he's
display.
not a big man, but he is deceptively strong at times. And
Cocky pin there.
Yeah,
that's exactly what we're talking about. If he would have hooked the leg, this could have been over.
Perhaps could have been.
If he loses his job, that's his own
that's
fault.
his own fault. Correct.
Pride before the fall.
I seem to remember a competitor who was very powerful earlier tonight fall. As a matter of fact, in the first match.
Donnie, you keep mouthing off. You're going to be through this table, and you're going to be without a job.
All right, now
Just
who might,
like
Marshall
just
Briggs
like
is
Manimal
running
is.
through Manimal right there.
Manimal might not be with a job much longer. I would hate to see him leave the CWF. No, able to kick out.
And another cocky pin.
But he had a little bit of leverage with the ropes, too, added some weight to it.
You know, Marshal Briggs doesn't want to admit it, but Manimal has been a staple, has been a true poster child, if you will, for what the CWF is all about.
All
And I would hate to
is
see
a
that.
martyr.
I would hate to see that leave the ranks of the CWF.
I agree. I would hate to see that leave the ranks.
Why,
of
why,
CWF
why,
as
why
well.
do they love him? Because he keeps getting his ass whooped?
He
Because
has
he
plenty.
keeps sticking his nose where it don't belong, which is why he's in this situation right there.
I
This is
think-
why he might not have a job at the end of this.
This whole situation started over, you know, just a series of one-upsmanship.
I think the crowd loves Manimal so much because they can relate to getting beat down, kicked, stomped out, and still drag ourselves back up.
Or
That's
they
why-
relate to him because half of them are jobless.
There's plenty of job opportunities here in Pensacola, Florida.
Doesn't mean they get them.
This is
Well,
true.
right now, speaking
true,
of
Darren.
get, Marshal Briggs getting something under the ring, I think. I can't quite make out what it might be at this vantage point.
Well, it is no disqualification.
Those are the rules. No DQ.
Manimal,
it looks
Manimal
like he
down
might
on
have
one knee. Wait a minute.
He might have the chair in his hand. Yep, it's the chair.
Still chair. I don't think that's for Manimal to take a seat and get a breather.
Steel plus flesh.
Oh,
Wait a minute! Super kick for the Manimal to Marshal
A
Briggs!
desperation super kick at that. But he can't capitalize. All he-
Manimal wasn't playing possum. He was hurt, but you know, an injured animal is the most dangerous. Marshal Briggs finding that out firsthand. And this crowd chanting, Manimal, Manimal. The adrenaline's got to be flowing. The blood's got to be pumping. And he's got the steel chair. Gonna take it to the chairman of the CWF. Pardon the pun.
that was a nice pun, Donnie.
Ooh.
Steel crashing across the spine never sounds good, and it can't
That made
feel
my
good.
back
I don't think that was for Marshal
Why
Briggs'
would he put it
chiropractic
down?
benefit.
Why would he put it? That's a good
This is
play.
arrogance.
No DQ.
Well, Manimal, I think, is going to enjoy inflicting pain on Marshal Briggs. Decent point right there. As I said, I don't think that is for Marshal Briggs' chiropractic benefit.
And he continues to put it down, which is a very stupid idea.
I don't understand why he keeps putting the weapon down in a no DQ match. It's senseless.
Going to turn him over. Boston Crab here. Marshall going to tap out. Is he going to submit? As far as I know, submissions are legal in this Marshal Law's matchup.
Did he just let go of it?
Yeah.
Is he even trying to be employed?
He could be
Want to go for the pin here? No! Only a 2 count.
But you have a weapon in your hands, you don't use it. You have a
Well,
Boston Crab in. Have your opponent submit, tap
Well,
out,
he's
and he
grabbed-
lets it go for the pinfall that he does not get successfully.
Manimal wedging the chair in the corner.
he has some violent delights perhaps planned for Marshal Briggs. And I think Manimal, he wants to get the victory, but I also think he wants to inflict a little bit more pain on Marshal Briggs. He never knows when he'll get such an opportunity again.
He wants to send a
He
statement.
needs to act like his job is on the line here. He doesn't need to get...
Manimal knows that thoroughly, but like I said,
Does he, though?
I hope so.
It would seem that
A shove there from Marshal Briggs. Manimal in the corner.
Look what happened here. He failed to pull the trigger numerous times.
Ah,
and look
but-
at him.
oh nasty
But you
Irish whip
see-
to the corner.
You see Marshal Briggs falling down. Perhaps those blows to the back there paying a little bit of dividends for Manimal. Marshall's feeling that pain. Marshall now staggering.
As we seen him go through hellacious matches, we know he can take it.
Dragging Manimal to the corner.
But we have not seen the same thing from Manimal just yet.
We saw Manimal go through that 4-man gauntlet match. We know he has a lot of.
Oh.
Wait a minute!
He has-
Crashing into that steel
See,
chair.
this right here, like we have seen the Manimal in traditional match settings. We have not seen him in a hardcore environment until now.
We
That
have
is
seen
true.
Briggs in a hardcore environment before. Has a lot of experience, and it's on display.
And we know Marshall can take a beating.
Yeah, but he is clutching onto that back. I've seen him do it more than
And
once.
just
The
like
pain
that,
is set in.
when he holds the chair, he's not going to let it go.
Well, you see, well, right there, he's not letting it go because he's using it as a crutch, using it to get back up to his feet. Nothing but hate in the eyes of Marshal Briggs for Manimal.
It's kind of like how he looks at you, Donnie.
Well, right now, he's not concentrated or worried about me. Marshall can take me out anytime he wants, but Manimal can fight back.
Stomping the ankle, making sure he can't stand up.
Perhaps can't fight back now, though.
Not just a stomp, but keeping his boot there, driving air out of the lungs.
Can't fight if you can't breathe. Oh.
Has the submission locked in. That pain shooting down the legs, up into the spine, and back again. Right there in the middle of the ring, can't grab any of those ropes or really anything for leverage to try to break out of it.
It looks like a modified, some kind of modified Scorpion deathlock.
It'll be the death of Manimal's career if he doesn't get out of it. Wait a minute, transition around, grabbing onto the Marshal.
And he's got a knee bar on now.
Oh.
Has an ankle lock.
How about
wrapped
that for
in
a
good and
transition?
tight. Manimal showing his mat-based abilities on display here. Trying to twist that ankle till it points to north. Oh!
And that's the same ankle that he just stomped earlier, putting the chair right to that ankle.
That is the that's a veteran move by Marshal Briggs to use a chair to break the lock.
As I've said many times, gentlemen, if a man can't stand, he can't fight.
It's just like I pointed out earlier, this is the hardcore experience of Marshal Briggs. We haven't seen Kaedon in this environment.
We have not.
Kaedon, not a lot of experience. You are correct, Darion. God, I hate saying that.
And
Darion, you are correct. He doesn't have a lot
I'm
of
always
experience.
correct.
you are right. You gave Johnny advice, and he did. He took it.
Yeah.
Even Desmond Tebow took your advice. Put it on a shirt.
St. James got in my way. Period.
Well,
I don't know about that, but,
right now, Marshal Briggs once again reaching under the mat, perhaps reaching under the ring there, perhaps for something. Guess he didn't find what he was looking for.
Going back to
or maybe he didn't find anything that's good enough.
Going back to the
waving for Manimal. I think he's telling Manimal to come on, let's take it outside the ring. Manimal going to accept that invitation, perhaps unwisely, giving up the high ground. And I think win or lose, these men just want to end this here right now. Both men want to be rid of the other.
Speaking of high ground, we've all seen Star Wars. We know that's the way you win.
Well, right now, both men are on level ground. Manimal going to give chase to Marshal Briggs. Marshal Briggs putting a lot of distance between him. Setting Manimal up. The craftiness of Marshall that I alluded to earlier on display.
One of the oldest tricks in the book.
And now the chops. And Darion, you've said more than once, chops are the most painful maneuver in professional wrestling.
We heard that chop reverberate through the whole building.
Ooh, they heard that chair shot 2 counties over.
He's in a situation because the Manimal couldn't resist his Manimal urges, giving chase to the running. Got caught slipping and got caught with a chair to the ribs.
This could be it. We could be seeing the end of Manimal right here. No! No! Manimal able to save it for himself.
That was a forceful kick out, which means it took a little bit of air out. That is getting squeezed out of him right now with that sleeper hold.
Marshall going to make sure no air makes it back into the lungs of Manimal.
I can see his face right now. His face is red.
He is wrenching in pain, as we can all see from
Manimal
here.
trying to reach in down deep, trying to do something.
The crowd
trying to
getting
reach for
behind
something,
him.
trying to grab something. Both men back to their feet. Manimal laying in those elbows. I cannot stress enough, every blow counts. He loses this match, he is out of a job. European uppercut. Throwing him into the ropes. Spear for the Manimal to Marshal Briggs.
Oh.
About nearly tore him in half.
If he's gonna do something, he's got to do it now.
He needs to stay on him.
Manimal, if you had a chance, if you had an opportunity, it is now. Do what you have to do to save your job.
Massaging them out. What's he doing? You got to
Perch
pull the trigger.
wants to pull the trigger, waiting on Marshall. Marshal Briggs is down.
And he's smart. Marshall's getting some distance from him.
Trying
Unfortunately,
to.
that
That
distance has
spear,
been closed on.
that spear took a lot out of him. Those shoulder tackles also taking a lot out of him.
But that's smart. That's exactly what he needs to do. Shoulder tackle to the ribs that he just hit.
Manimal bouncing off the other side, using his
Send
body
Tom
as
into
a
the
weapon.
corner. Ooh.
And now going to
This
try
is-
to
this
end it
is-
here. No! No! Manimal almost saved his job. Almost earned that CWF title shot. But Marshal Briggs, perhaps out of just pure hate and spite, able to kick out.
Or maybe he just kicked out because he's just good like that. Ever think about that, Donnie?
Marshall is good. Marshall is a great in-ring competitor. I do not agree with his methods or his ideology, but I have to give the man his props. He is one tough SOB.
I mean, you got to be to hold the D1 championship. Oh, he defended the D1 championship earlier tonight, and he got into the ring again.
Manimal just catching his breath here on the ring, not giving chase. This is perhaps a mistake.
Hey, but guess what?
Giant
Marshall's
mistake.
on the outside getting that same breath.
When your opponent's injured, you think you'd want to take advantage of
So
that.
apparently the ref said he's gone. He's disappeared somewhere.
What?
Oh,
Wait a
Marshall's
minute, no.
emerging.
Marshall going underground there, coming out with a weapon.
Seems the Manimal was prepared.
Manimal got one of his own. Got a kendo stick. Manimal's got the steel chair. Both men eyeing each other.
It's not about what weapon's more effective. It's about the effectiveness of the
About
one
to get
swinging.
About to get medieval here in Pensacola. Both men brandishing a weapon of choice, staring each other down, waiting for the other to make the move. Well, the quiet before the storm is over.
Oh, laying a vicious kendo shot in.
Marshall took advantage of that Manimal pride.
Pride cometh before the fall, and this could be it. No! No! Manimal still able to save his job.
I feel like the ref had a little bit of a slow count there.
That's a common theme tonight, huh?
It sure is.
What's not common is what these two men are doing to each other. I
Even
think
the Marshal is,
what the?
antagonizing the crowd.
Not a good idea, turning his back onto Manimal. Although Manimal not in much shape to do anything at the moment. As we said, you know, this could be Manimal's last hurrah. Kid, if you're going to do something, now's the time.
Now is the time to do it. That is right, Donnie.
Throwing him into the ropes, bouncing off him. Spear again! Spear again from the Manimal! Once again, almost taking Marshal Briggs in half.
Oh, and the Manimal is feeling it.
Manimal, you don't need to wait. You don't need to waste any time. No! Only a 2 count.
He needs to spend less time showboating, more time pinning.
Well, he didn't waste any time there. Close the gap with the pinfall. Marshal Briggs, perhaps out of just sheer spite for the Manimal, still able to kick out.
He's got that chair in his hand.
He needs
If he
to
wants to
use
keep
it.
his job. He did just that.
Another strike to the back of Marshal Briggs. Marshall still on one knee, though. Another strike to the back.
That chair shot. Yeah. I don't know about you, but I think there might be some chiropractic procedures in the future for Marshall.
If our HMO covers that.
Well, that's
I mean,
always
yours
nice to
doesn't
know.
because you keep mouthing off, but
Well, right now what my mouth is about to say is, ouch! Another strike onto Marshal Briggs from the Manimal.
And he, once again, throwing on the chair. Is he going to pull the trigger right here?
Manimal before in this matchup has not pulled the trigger.
It looks like he's signaling for the end. He might be about to do it now.
Well, if he had a chance, it's
but
now.
He's got to pick up that dead weight.
Marshal Briggs outweighs him probably by about 20 to 30 pounds. Wait a minute.
Playing possum.
Peacemaker on the Manimal from Marshal Briggs, waiting like a snake in the grass.
Unfortunately, the chair shots did just enough damage to make sure he can't capitalize.
I think that might have been a desperation move.
Desperation move indeed.
He didn't quite get the usual height out of it.
But this crowd chanting for Manimal, referee checking on both competitors. If they can even just get a hand on the other's chest, that would be enough to get the pin. And this Marshal Law's no disqualification matchup. Both men now back to their feet. I don't know who's got anything left in them. Marshal Briggs staggering around. Eating a clothesline from Manimal, Kaedon Marx.
Kaedon's got his second win right now. How long is this going to last?
Hopefully long enough. Into the ropes. Picking him up. Slamming it down. Manimal going for the pin. And he got No! No! Once again.
Wow.
Marshal able to.
The last split second, get that shoulder up.
At the last split second, Marshal Briggs able to kick out. Manimal almost had it in hand. Job secure, shot at the CWF title. Manimal going to the outside, looking under the ring. Didn't find anything there, going to go to the other side. It's going to take a weapon of some kind, some special kind of weapon to put down Marshal Briggs.
What's he looking for? What?
Don't know.
He needs to quit wasting time looking for something
He's reaching
special.
for something. I think he just crawled underneath.
Manimal going underground as well.
Seems Marshall's out on his feet. And
Marshall's out on his feet.
Manimal's nowhere to be seen.
I don't know what Manimal's looking for. His opponent's right there in the middle of the ring, laying there. Oh, no.
Oh, somebody call for a table?
I mean, better theirs than us.
I don't think, and we know how well constructed the tables are here in the CWF. Takes a lot of force to break one, and I think Manimal plans to apply that force onto Marshal Briggs.
But again, he needs to stop motioning for the admiration of this audience and pull the trigger. If you're going to bring the table out, put them through it. Don't worry about them.
If it was my job on the line, I would have already been setting up that table to put him through it.
Like, at the end of the day, these people are not going to set up a GoFundMe for him if he loses his job.
That's right. They're not. They don't care.
Super kick. Super kick on a Marshal Briggs, making sure he stays down.
Marshall might have to go use that dental plan to rearrange that smile.
Manimal has the table set up, and trust me, folks, he ain't setting it up for tea time.
Showing exhaustion. If he's going to do something, he needs to do it right now.
Violent delights planned for Marshal Briggs.
Manimal stalking the wounded Marshall Briggs.
As I said, Manimal wants to send a message to Marshal Briggs. Wants to get the victory, but wants to do it as violently as possible.
Let's just point out, I can see the welts from here on the back of Manimal. He has taken punishment tonight in this match.
Marshall barely standing on those 2 feet, back up against the table now.
Trying to get him the tee. Up.
Ooh.
Right back to the little Manimals.
As I said it earlier, I hope Manimal doesn't plan on having cubs anytime soon.
We don't need a bunch of little Manimals to run around here anyway.
Well, I don't think we're going to have any Manimals running around if Manimal loses this match and gets fired.
Going back to that hurt arm. Saw Manimal
Marshall
nursing
saying,
it
see
earlier.
how you like it?
And his finishing maneuver is the F5. If you can't use that arm,
How you going to get him up? Marshall said the chair is not good enough.
one more for good measure. Going back to the toy box, looking what he can find. Got tired of the other old equalizer, got another one.
Good. Who puts all this stuff under that table or under that ring?
I'm guessing the ring crew, Donnie.
Wait a minute!
what is this?
Wait a minute!
A
Wait
ring?
a minute!
What does this got to do with Brandon?
Collins coming from behind!
What does this got to do with Brandon?
Collins cross onto Marshal Briggs!
Onto the steel chair, Donnie.
Onto the steel chair! Brandon Collins has come to the aid of the Manimal before,
Marshall
and he's going
gave
to do
him
it
a
again.
championship opportunity earlier, and this is how he repays him?
I guess so.
Sickening. Ungrateful.
Well, if Manimal had an opportunity, it is now. Brandon Collins coming to the aid of the Manimal. Marshal
Brandon's
Briggs
doing
down
the
on
same
one knee.
thing. Same thing that Manimal. Brandon, excuse me, I'm sorry, I'm just a little heated right now.
Yeah,
Brandon is doing the
It stinks
same
when
thing.
people interrupt matches, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't it, Darion?
It sucks, doesn't it, Darion?
Not that you know anything about that.
Not at
but
all.
What I do know is Manimal has one goal, and that's to put Marshall through that table.
Oh.
And through the table he goes! Marshal Briggs, right through that wood!
And that is not a thin table.
Does
Very well
Manimal have what
constructed.
it takes to get up and get over there, capitalize?
Manimal, all Manimal has to do is roll him over and put one arm over on him. And it is over! It is over! The Manimal of Steel!
The Manimal Kingdom survives.
Manimal Kaedon
Long live the Manimal Kingdom!
So has
Kaedon Marx keeps his job and now has a shot at the CWF title, thanks to a little help from Brandon Collins.
What are you doing? What are you doing? Hey.
Go stop him. You like to interfere in things so
Yeah,
much.
Darion, you like to run to the ring so much. Why don't you stop him?
Y'all got one more time to
Wait,
knock
wait.
off.
Is it?
Well, the D1 title was not on the line.
But the Manimals take.
Wait a minute.
That doesn't belong to him.
No, it doesn't belong to him. He does have a shot at the CWF Championship.
Brandon doesn't know what the hell he's doing. Handing him a title that doesn't belong to him.
Manimal perhaps having one last hurrah with the D1 title before he sets his sights on the CWF Championship.
Now what he just did is piss off Marshall. He's doing the same thing that Manimal did to get him in this situation tonight.
It seems that there's been a revolving theme of interference in matches here tonight, Darion.
Yeah, but Marshall didn't deserve it.
Neither did Nathan Sims.
Yeah, he did.
What did he do to you?
He's got no teeth.
Well, right now, Marshal Briggs not even worried about his championship belt. I'm surprised he can even walk under his own power.
Let's just talk about that match. That was insane.
That was one of the most brutal displays. Wait a minute. Marshal Briggs winning the microphone.
That match was, oh.
I'm surprised he even has any energy left to talk.
I couldn't. Oh, what a great, that was.
Hey. Hey. God, that hurt. Hey, you can all kiss my ass.
Okay.
Hey, you know what's great about a martial law match? I make the rules. I see all these dumbasses and that idiot referee weren't paying attention. That wasn't for the D1 title, bitch.
No, it wasn't.
Jay, bring me my belt.
Well, Marshall has spoken. This is
Well, it
not
wasn't. It was a non-title matchup.
It was. The
You know,
rules
Manimal
were put on display from the beginning. It was not for the D1 championship. He said it
Manimal
all along.
No, Manimal perhaps got caught up in the moment, forgot
No, that
himself.
idiot Brandon Collins ran over here, snapped the title and ran and handed it to him
Well,
like it belonged to the Manimal.
Marshal Briggs perhaps lost the match, but leaving with his championship.
But as a result, Brandon started the war that he did not want to start.
Seems there's a lot of wars being started tonight.
A lot of wars indeed. Referee gonna wrap the belt around Marshal Briggs just to remind
The Manimal.
Manimal of what he lost in the D1 championship. But Manimal has won the war here tonight.
And he got to keep his job. He has a shot at the CWF championship. And he has defeated Marshall at his own game.
Marshal Briggs
But
just,
at the end of the day,
but, whoa,
Marshall keeps the D1 championship.
Marshall, leave the referee alone, man. Kid's just trying to do his job.
He
I'm
should
not
have did a
gonna tell
better
him
job
to.
out at it.
You could go tell him to do that, Donnie. I'm not doing that. When the marshal pays your check, you do what he says. And you better be good at it.
Well, as we said, the war between Manimal and Marshal Briggs is over, but I shudder to think what Marshall might have planned for Brandon Collins.
The Manimal better hope it's over.
Proven ground legends allured. Grit and blood, a sacred crown. Cloud roaring like a beast untamed. Warriors fight, make their stand in the night. The battle's framed. Grit and blood on sacred ground. Crowd roaring like a beast untamed. Warriors fight, make their stand in the night. The battle's framed.